How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's another segment of Outside the Square Circle. I'm Dennis Ragg, and that's Frank Nels. We told you we're going to be giving you these podcasts more regularly. We're even going to get it more regularly this. We're going to try to get it 2 times a week if we can. It's a lot of things going on in the box. Even if there's not a lot, hasn't been a lot of fights lately because we haven't had a fight in about 2 or 3 weeks, and we're not going to have a mega fight or any name fight until the 27th, which we're going to get into right now. We'll start off talking about the fight that just got made with Anthony Joshua and Charles Martin. All right. Well, first things first. This is a really good fight for Anthony Joshua because he doesn't have to beat a mega champion Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury to get this belt. He's fighting a guy that pretty much got handed the belt because Fury should have never lost this anyway. We can go into the whole why he got stripped. I think you guys all know that. But he shouldn't have got stripped. So the fact is, Charles Martin didn't really have to earn it because the guy he was fighting had some type of injury and gave up. So now, I mean, no disrespect to him. I know he's technically a heavyweight champion, but Charles Martin is not really a heavyweight champion, if that makes sense to you. This fight will define if he deserves to be a heavyweight champion. If he's able to go in there and win, not even in dominant fashion, but win against this seemed to be unstoppable Anthony Joshua, then you know what? I will respect him as a champ, even though he didn't have to be the champ to get the title. Just that alone, I respect him for it. So this is my thoughts going into it is, first off, why Anthony Joshua? Why him? I feel like it could have been a lot of different ways he could have went with this. He could have said, you know what, hey, let's try to unify with Wilder. You know, let me try to get some money. And if I win that fight, guess what? Now I got another title, and I'm the man that has to be respected. Now, but he's fighting a guy that, unless they're paying him pretty good, which I suspect Hearn probably is paying him really good, it's a really big risk with not much reward, because if he loses, which a lot of people think he will, and I even got to agree, I got to favor Joshua in this fight. He loses his title, he becomes a paper champ, a guy that just had a title for a split second. But if he wins, which I'll respect him, I'll give him the props for beating him, I'll call him a champion. But a lot of people say, well, who was Anthony Joshua beat? He wasn't a champ. He was just knocking guys out, you know what I mean, that didn't have any really big name. Dylan White was probably his toughest fight that Anthony Joshua had.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's exactly how I can see how people would look at it. He wouldn't get much props for it, even though I would. So I'm not sure what made him pick this fight, because even I thought Derek Chisora called him out at the press conference, and I thought that fight was good. I thought that would have been a good first fight for him. You know, get his feet wet. That would have been Chris Martin's first time fighting somebody that's actually named and up there a little bit. So I thought that was a good first fight for him. But he has jumped directly into the deep end with a guy that has a lot of power, can box.
Yeah.
And it's for what? So I really hope that he's getting paid a lot of money. But now I'm gonna jump in on Anthony Joshua. Do I think he's earned it? Yes and no. Yes, because it's Charles Martin. He ain't like a champion, as I said.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, how did he get to get this fight? Because look who he's fighting, and look what he's fighting for. Secondly, the no part is who has Anthony Joshua beaten to get an opportunity like this? It's just his name.
Mm-hmm.
He has a good promoter, so he got it. That's why he has this fight. So that's my yes and no on do he deserve it or why he don't deserve it. But I gotta allude to the fact that something that you said, me and you talked about, is I really hope, and I can see this coming too. It's funny you said this. I really hope this doesn't happen, but I can see Anthony Joshua winning this title and defending it in England and treating it like the Euro title. How they keep the Euro title over there and fight. I can see him treating it like that. His next defensive bid against David Price, you know what I mean, over there. Then he'll fight against another guy over there. And then the Furies, he wants to fight in there. Right? Fury say, come on, let's fight for that title. And then they'll speculate, go back and forth, and somehow negotiations will fail, and then he'll want to fight another person we don't really know or care about.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that when he wins this title, that Anthony Joshua says to himself, I am a champion, Let me show everybody I am not a champion. I am the champion. And he goes at the big names, and he's willing to fight any of the big names, and he's willing to fight some of those guys out there that we're like, you should fight him. He's willing to give an Eddie Chambers a chance. He's willing to fight all those other names out there that are up and coming or really big names within the heavyweight division, because the heavyweight division is starting to get up there and get pretty good. He's willing to give a Luis Ortiz, King Kong. Maybe he's willing to give a King Kong a shot at the title, which, that guy, and I think that'd be an excellent match. Two big, strong, hard-hitting, good boxing guys. That would be an excellent fight. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's willing to give him a fight, a chance or something like that. Now, if he does that, I would respect Anthony. Win, lose, or draw. I would respect Anthony Joshua as far as heart and for what he's going out and trying to prove. But I don't think he will do it. I think he would get that title, and he would. And he, like another guy I got it kind of related to. It's almost like we haven't heard anything about him. Billy Joe Saunders won the WBO, and it's like, he's not even being speculated for any fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, GGG tried, he's like, nah, I'm 18 months away from that. Danny Jacobs is like, hey, come on, let's go. Nah. You know what I mean? It's like all the other champions want him, like, come on, you're a champion now. And he's just like, nah, I'm going to chill in UK, maybe fight a couple of guys over here. And that just kind of seems to be, no disrespect, but that's kind of seems to be the sentiments of the UK guys. Except for Fury, I give him his props. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
he's a madman. I love him for that.
Yeah,
but most of those guys win those titles and go over there and disappear. What do you think, Frank?
Well, so when the fight first got made, I remember there was a lot of speculation, and my train of thought then was like, man, there's two things that I was thinking of. One, Al Heyman got another heavyweight champ in Charles Martin after his win, his fluky albeit, but win nonetheless. So he has Wilder,
he's
and
a
now
sacrificial lamb, it looks like.
Well, and that's the thing. So when he first won it, I was like, I can see, Martin taking like a Stavern or maybe an Areola, like someone on that level. And no disrespect to them, I just don't think they're very top level guys, but formidable opponents nonetheless. Right. So I'm thinking maybe one of those dudes, maybe Martin gets another win under his belt, and then he fights Wilder and they unify. And then, these rumors start coming along, and I'm like, man. So the thing that I thought with, or the thing that I thought from Anthony Joshua's side was, and just like you said, does he deserve a title shot? Not necessarily, because of the opposition that he's faced so far. He's been in prospect mode lately. He's been fighting just step up fight after step up fight. He didn't have a real name other than Dylan White on his resume. So my train of thought was, so he's facing Charles Martin, who from what we've seen isn't the greatest of heavyweights that's out there right now. But the big decision from Hearn is now, if my guy wins this title, I don't think he's in the position to do that, to go back to the UK and fight, mandatories that we never heard of, or the number 12 guy in the IBF or the WBC, yada, yada, yada. I don't think he's in that position. I think the heavyweight division right now is so stacked that if he wins this belt, if and when, because I'm pretty sure he's going to beat Charles Martin, he gets this belt, I don't think he's going to do that. At least I hope not. I feel like what they're going to do, though, because the more I've been thinking about it since the fight got made, I tried to think or put on my promoter hat and what would I do if I was Hearn. And this is what I think they're going to do. I think, okay, let's say Anthony Joshua wins the belt, right? I think he's probably going to have an initial mandatory fight in England, which I'm okay with. I'm always fine with like a softer touch after you win the belt. But I think after that, I think he's going to go right after David Haye. To be honest with you, Haye's been talking a lot about that fight, and that
would be a hell of a fight.
It would. David Haye looked spectacular in his return, albeit not against the greatest of opponents, but he looked spectacular nonetheless. I think Anthony Joshua is going to win this belt. I think he is going to have a mandatory, and then I think he is going to fight David Haye. And the winner of that is we're gonna start seeing more unification bouts, because I think we're gonna get the Fury Vladimir rematch out of the way before then. We are going to get the Povetkin Wilder fight. So we're gonna have all those fights that have already have happened, and now the heavyweight division is gonna be heated up even more so than it's been. So he's not gonna be in any position to do what more recent UK fighters have been doing and taking these belts over. And you know, another thought that actually came to me though is I give Charles Martin. I know you said you give him props if he won, but I give Charles Martin props for even taking this fight as your first defense. I mean, we've seen Deontay Wilder. He beat Bermain Severn, and then he starts fighting. He fought Eric Molina, and then
That's true.
How did you say his name? Spica.
Spilka, I think.
I forget how to say his name, and that's no offense to him. It's a hard name to pronounce. But no, but on paper these guys didn't look all that good. But you know what? In those fights, they showed that they could fight, which is a different story. But just on paper, he didn't take the two guys that we really knew, guys that we necessarily wanted to see. So the fact that Charles Martin won this belt, and then he's going on to fight a young dude like Anthony Joshua, who has all the potential, all the power, and all the boxing skill in the world. I mean, this kid can flat out fight, man.
Taking balls to take this.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're talking about Charles Martin got balls of steel, man. That he's got a set of Tim Bradleys on him, because he ain't taking, I mean, he ain't taking no softies. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a solid fight, because even with our thoughts on Charles Martin and his lack of skill or lack, not anyone say lack of skill, that's disrespectful. His lack of proving himself thus far. This is still a step-up fight for Anthony Joshua. I mean, Dylan White was a good fighter, but we saw with Charles Martin, he didn't look, I mean, albeit the fight was 3 rounds or whatever, but he didn't look very spooked in this title fight. He looked like he belonged. He looked very calm. He was working behind his jab. So he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? And now all of the lights.
I just didn't get a chance to see much like you didn't either. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But now all the lights are on Anthony Joshua because it's his to lose. Charles Martin, even though he's the champ, there's no pressure on him because everyone thinks he's going to lose anyway.
Nobody expects him to win.
Exactly. So all the pressure is like, can you imagine if Anthony Joshua? I forget where the fight is. The fight in the UK.
I haven't heard that. I just know it's April 9th.
Yeah, I don't remember where they said. Okay, either way, I'll paint both scenarios. Let's say it's in America. Can you imagine if Anthony Joshua flies all the way over here in America and gets his ass kicked by Charles Martin? And then we can take it further and say, could you imagine if I don't remember where it is. So let's say the fight's in the UK. If Charles Martin goes all the way to the UK in front of his fans and puts a whooping on him, I mean, all the pressure's on. Martin has nothing to lose here. Mm-hmm. Martin has absolutely and I applaud him for taking this fight. Because, like I said, if there's a time to take a soft touch, it's after you win the title. You've deserved it at that point. You've earned it. You know what I mean? You've earned that mandatory.
That's what I thought he was going to do.
I thought so, too. So I think I'm excited for the fight. I think it's going to be really, really good. We're going to see what we have in both guys. And I think...
I was actually expecting... I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good.
I forget, what's his name? The guy that beat Amir Mansour.
Brazili? Dominic Brazili?
I was actually expecting something like that because after a win like that, they've been showcasing this, Dominic as an Olympian, and they gave him the spotlight on PBC. So I was actually expecting like 2 big young guys. I was expecting that to happen, but I would just and you know what I mean. And I wouldn't have been mad at that because, like you said, soft to touch first time, but just to what you said, huge heart, lots of testicular fortitude. You gotta respect its due.
Absolutely. And just like you said, man, the heavyweight division's heating up. So we're gonna keep it here in the heavyweight division. We're gonna all the rumors that I've been reading so far, all the rumors that have been circulating are basically saying that Povetkin versus Wilder is a done deal. Some of these rumors are saying that they're both going to have a fight again mid-year before they fight each other at the end of the year, which I'm completely okay with. But, I mean, that fight in itself is incredible. I mean,
what you think about it?
Deontay Wilder has won his last couple fights, but we've seen some flaws. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Eric Molina hurt him, and the other dude who I have trouble pronouncing his name, and I apologize because he's a hell of a fighter. That dude can fight. He's very awkward, very slick, very durable. I mean, both of those dudes, exposed a little bit of what we didn't know in Wilder. That being said, Wilder still looked good in those fights. It was just there were certain things that these people brought out of him, you know. And Povetkin is just a flat out monster. You know what I mean? I don't think there's nothing more to say. The dude hits like a mule kicks. I mean, the only dude that's beat him has been Vlad, and he looked good in a lot of that fight as well. He made Vlad work for it.
That fight should have went into the DK.
I agree. I agree. There was too much holding in the fight, but that's not neither here nor there. We can go on about that forever. But I mean, the dude Povetkin in flat out fight, to me, he's the second best heavyweight in the world behind probably Tyson Fury, since he proved it and beat Vlad. You know, I got to give Fury that title because of that. And to me, Povetkin is number 2. So I mean, that fight right there proves a lot. We have 2 heavyweight fights really that prove a lot. You know what I mean? Charles Martin, we're going to see what we have in Charles Martin and Anthony Joshua, win, lose, or draw. And the same is said about Wilder and Povetkin. Because you know what? And I think it's a bit unfair. You know, people have been overly criticizing Deontay Wilder. He looked damn good against Stavern. I thought Stavern was going to beat him. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought Wilder was a hype job.
A lot of people did.
And I thought Stavern's counter-punching ability, his ability to take a punch, and his power was going to be too much. And you know what? I was proved wrong, because Deontay Wilder boxed beautifully. He worked behind his jab the whole night. He just made Stavern eat right hand after right hand and body shot after body. I mean, he looked great that night. He really did. I think I had him winning like 9-3 or 8-4. He dominated that night. So, and the thing is, you know, people focus too much sometimes on names, because Eric Molina and the other fella that he fought were damn good. I mean, those dudes could flat out fight, and they proved it against Wilder. That to me, and a lot of people see, I took it in the opposite direction that a lot of people did. A lot of people were like, oh, that's because Wilder's a bum. Bums don't beat Stavern. Stavern is a bad man. He could fight. You know what I mean? Bums don't do what Wilder has done. They look that good, or they looked good, I should say, because they are very good fighters. And you know what? I've been listening a lot to Paulie.
Make fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Styles make fights. And, you know, I've been listening to a lot of Paulie Malignaggi's podcast as of late. I just found it a couple weeks ago, and I've been catching up on it. And he made a really solid point. Shout out to Paulie, man. I love his analysis on boxing. He was talking, you know, when you look at these dudes, and he was actually talking directly in terms of Deontay Wilder. He's like, you look at Molina, you look at the other guy, and these dudes, this is their one shot. They've been working for this their whole life. This is their one shot. This is it right here. They're going to give it all that they...
Get another.
Exactly. They might not get another title shot. So they're going to give all that they have against him. And that's why we see that. That's why we see them giving Deontay Wilder a little bit of trouble, outboxing him, hitting him with bombs and hurting him. That happened. This is the heavyweight division, people. You get hit by a 240-pound man, it's going to sting. You know what I mean? You get hit clean. I don't care how good your chin is. I mean, we saw Chris Arreola. He had one of the best chins in boxing for years. You know, and the more you take those hits from these men, I mean, you're going to get hit. But it goes back to my point. We're going to see a lot. We're going to see a lot more out of Wilder, man, because it's unfair that a lot of people have been talking negatively about him and the 2 title offenses that he's taken. But even that said, this is...
still do, and I think it's disrespectful.
I think it is. I think it is a bit disrespectful. But you know what? This is going to prove them wrong. Whether he wins or loses, him taking this fight, when it finally does get finalized, he's taking the second best heavyweight, or if not the best heavyweight in the world. You know what I mean? That ain't no easy touch. And they're talking about doing it overseas. They're talking about doing it in Germany or Russia. He takes it out there. I mean, that shows you even more. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of both fights, man. I'm a big fan. Gun to head, I'd probably have to take Povetkin. Not for me, you know, disliking Wilder. I like Wilder, but when I think so highly of someone like I do of Povetkin, it's very, very hard for me to pick against him. And the other thing is, the reason why I would tend to lean towards Povetkin is that, I mean, he just hits so damn hard. And the thing is we've seen Wilder get hit before. And like I said, it's not that he has a bad chin, but when you get hit by someone with that much power clean, I don't know how, but even that said, though, Wilder has the power to knock him out as well. He's taller, he's longer. I think Povetkin's only like 6'3". Wilder's about 6', 7'4" in that range. He's a tall dude, so he has a lot of advantages. He works that outside. He has a chance. But Povetkin knows how to get on the inside with his boxing skill and his head movement. So that's a great fight, man. I don't know. Gun to head, I'd go Povetkin, but once the fight gets finalized and I know when it is and I can actually fully analyze it, like, you know, I might think differently. But that's a damn good fight, man. Both of those fights are good. Well, what do you think? What do you think about the fight?
Well, I just like the fact that Wilder, everybody was saying he's afraid. He's ducking Povetkin. He's ducking Povetkin. He's not gonna fight Povetkin. I even had somebody go as far as to say that he was gonna vacate his WBC title and just try to go after the IBF Charles Martin title just because he didn't want to fight Povetkin.
Ridiculous.
Everybody just was saying like he was just so afraid. But Wilder's showing, just like he said, he want to prove that he's the best. He's not afraid of anybody. You don't get in boxing to be afraid of people. And I respect him so much because he's going out there to prove a point and show it. And I'm honestly going to get right to it. I'm picking Wilder. And the reason why I'm picking Wilder is because Wilder's going to do a little bit of what Vlad did. He's going to use his length. He's going to hide behind his jab. And when Povetkin get in close enough, he's going to hold him and push off.
Yeah.
Because when he gets inside of you, you don't want to get hit by that power. If he catches Wilder, it can be a good night. Wilder's going to hide behind that jab, pick him apart, and we've seen what Wilder can do. Even though Povetkin is a harder puncher than Stavern is a deadly puncher too.
Yeah.
And that's what Wilder did. All Wilder did was jab, smile, jab, hide behind it, move and jab. He boxed up. He wasn't even trying to look to knock Stavern out unless he can hit him with some good power shots. And that's what's going to happen. If he's going to hit, if he knocks Povetkin out, which he could because he has the power to, it's going to come off of counter punching. Him missing a punch and Wilder countering him. But I'm telling you, Wilder's going to look to box some more because he has the stamina to continue to box. He has the reach. He has the jab. And he's going to move all night. I don't think Povetkin is going to get a chance to land because Wilder's not stupid. Anybody that fights Povetkin knows one punch, you can be done.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
One punch.
Absolutely.
I don't think Wilder's going to give him the opportunity to get that one punch. He's going to stay the heck away from him.
Well, that's why
I'm picking Wilder.
That's what he has to do to win, though. You know what I mean? He can't. I don't think Povetkin is not a guy you want to stand straight up with, in the pocket all night and fight him. That's
just
not.
Because I've seen Wilder do it, if I hadn't seen him do it, I would pick Povetkin. I would say, I don't know if he can.
Right.
We've actually seen Wilder do it. We know he can.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm picking him for it because I know he will do that.
Yeah, and you're not.
It'll probably be a boring fight because Wilder's not going to engage. I don't think.
See, that's the thing. That's what I was just gonna say. I don't think I don't think Wilder's lack of staying in the pocket in that fight is gonna make it boring because Povetkin keeps coming. He keeps coming and he keeps coming. So Wilder's gonna have to be on his absolute A game. I know we saw it with Stavern, and Stavern's a good fighter, but he's gonna be in there with a totally different animal with Povetkin. He's gonna have to be very, very disciplined. And I think he will be. I think he can be.
Is you ever seen his stamina? Povetkin's stamina isn't the greatest unless he changes it.
Yeah.
Unless he changes, because he can. It's just I think maybe he came in heavy a few times. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But Povetkin kind of runs out of steam in the later rounds. So I could just see Wilder just moving and jabbing. Hope this guy runs out of steam. Moving and jabbing.
Yeah, and you know what though?
Hold him a little bit.
We haven't seen Wilder with any stamina issues. That was the big question with him before he fought Stavern was that none of his fights have gone past 4 rounds. Does he have 12-round stamina? And he showed me he looked the very same from round 1 to round 12. So it's clear that even with all that knockout power that he trains for 12. And he's been doing so for a long time because his conditioning is very good. If I come down to that, you could be right.
Exactly.
Like I said, I don't think it's as easy of a pick as people are making it out to be, where people are, I kind of see it from both sides. Oh, Deontay's going to kill him. Povetkin's going to, I mean, call me crazy. I think that fight's a lot closer than a lot of people are trying to make it out to be.
Because so many people are just picking, it's almost disrespectful. They picking Povetkin in 4 as if Wilder is just a bum that is not the champion.
Well,
Povetkin 4, he's going to start. Come on, give some respect. If it happens, it happens. But don't make it seem like it's no sweat off Povetkin's neck to go in there and knock Wilder out.
This is the thing. I'm always of the belief that it's not what you say, it's how you say it and the logic behind it. Because on paper, TKO 4 or KO 4 for Povetkin isn't out of the realm of possibility. The dude can crack. He can get anyone out of there at any given point. But it's the way you say it. You know what I mean? If you say say I'm a Povetkin fan, I'm like, oh, he's gonna kill Wilder in 4. That's easy work. Come on, let's be
Right.
honest here. He can get him out in
And that's
4.
what
You're
I'm
right,
hearing.
but it's the way you say it. Like so, but let's say
Right.
I'm me now, and I'm telling you why I think Povetkin is going to knock out Wilder in 4, and I say something like, I respect Wilder, very good reach, but I do see flaws in his footwork. He circles the same way a lot, and I think Povetkin is going to catch him with the right hook when he's circling left early on, and I don't think Wilder's going to be able to recover from that. That's perfectly logical. There's nothing wrong with that logic, and I'm not being disrespectful towards another great fighter. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the way you present it. It's the way you say it as a boxing fan. Because I've predicted early knockouts before against great fighters.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's the way you say it.
Hype job.
Yeah, like come on,
he's
bro.
a hype job. It's like cut it out.
Exactly.
So respect. He's not a hype job. You know what I'm saying? Or he would have lost his title by now.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. I mean, you're talking about a hype job. I mean, we've seen hype jobs quit for lesser than what he went through against Eric Molina. Eric Molina landed one of the flushest left hooks I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, and he had Wilder on baby born deer legs. I mean, he was floating all over that ring. You know what I mean?
And this is another thing. Wilder's stamina is really good because you see how fast he recovered.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Hey, boxing fans, seriously, that's a thing. You don't know it until you talk to a boxer, but the better condition you are, the much you recover from punches much faster than someone who's out of shape. I mean, that's why. Honestly, that's why we've seen that from Floyd. That right hand that Floyd took from Mosley in that second, or 2 of them, that would have knocked out any other welterweight in the world. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
That was incredible.
He's in such immaculate shape. It's just he's able to recover fast.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Wilder. He's like that's why I was just alluding to his stamina and his shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think he'll be able to stay away for 12 rounds with Povetkin. He'll be able to stay away.
No, and
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think either of us are wrong here. I think we both have good logics towards the picks that we made. I picked Povetkin simply because Wilder does get hit clean, and I can't see him getting hit too clean against Povetkin and surviving. But at the same time, he can though. I see the other side because you're right. If he fights that great game plan, he stays on his toes. He's nimble on his feet, uses that jab. I mean, he has the skill to do it. He absolutely has the skill to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't think either one of us are wrong here. I really don't. I just think we have different opinions.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about a right or wrong on this one because
no.
it can go either way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I definitely agree. But so we talked a little bit about Floyd. So we are gonna go. That's kind of a weird segue, but we are gonna go to the smaller fellas here. We got a fight the 27th. Terrence Crawford versus Hank Lundy at 140. I'm a big fan of the fight, but I want to get your thoughts first. What do you think about the fight? Maybe even a prediction or possible outcomes.
All right. Well, one thing I like about this fight is Hank Lundy's attitude and aggression.
Yeah.
Last fight, we seen Crawford go in there and beat a guy down in the fashion because he said he was trash talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, he was talking about how he was going to knock me out. Well, you know what? I want to see how Crawford is going to respond to this. Because not only is Lundy saying he's going to beat him, but he's daring him to fight southpaw style with him.
Yeah.
And he's telling him, he's making a prediction he will stop Crawford early.
Yeah.
And, even though fighters talk trash here and there, but Lundy is at that level with it where he just makes it exciting to want to see.
Yeah, no, he's a great trash talker.
I'm going to go and I'm going to stop this guy.
Yeah.
I ain't coming here, to try to take it to the judges and they want to give Crawford a decision because it's Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going in there and I'm getting this guy done with early and I'm going home with the belt and a nice check.
Yeah.
So, just because of that, I'm looking to see the element of how this plays out. Is Crawford really motivated when guys talk trash to him, or is that just something he said because of him?
Right.
Is Hank Lundy really going to do what he said he's going to do, or is that just something to try to get in Crawford's head?
Yeah.
But breaking down the fight, Lundy is a tough fighter. He's like the one. This is how I really see it. He is the 140 of Gabe Rosado.
Oh, I can see the comparison.
They're kind of funny. They're both from Philly, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They both outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
They have taken losses, but they'll fight anybody.
And they're durable as all hell.
Easy wins for nobody. Yep, they're durable. They're not easy wins for anybody, and they come to fight every single fight. That's why both of those guys, they can take a trillion losses, but we always look to see them as they come in a fight. You're not going to see a boring fight where they just walk. No, they're going to come. They're going to bring it, win, lose, or draw. So he's going to bring one thing. He's going to bring it to Crawford. Well, and what I'm hoping is, even if Lundy is not able to pull it up, which I don't think he will, but that's just my personal opinion, I think he probably will be able to pull something out of Crawford, maybe that we haven't seen. One thing we know about great fighters is when they're faced with opposition, a tough competition, or they're faced with some type of obstacle, they tend to overcome it and bring out the lion in them. That's like Floyd got hit with that Mosley shot. Yeah, he turned into a lion. You know what I mean?
He beat the dog shit out of Mosley from round 3 to 12.
Yeah, it was almost like Mosley should have probably saved that.
Yeah.
You pissed him off.
Absolutely.
It was like you pissed him off by doing that.
Oh.
So this is what I'm hoping to see. Will this happen to Crawford? Will Hank Lundy come out there, and do we say we'll try to get him out of there early, and maybe he hurts Crawford like Gamboa did, and what does Crawford do next?
Yeah.
This is why this is an interesting fight to me, because it's just the contrast of styles to see what's going to happen and how they're going to affect each other. Now, what Hank Lundy has to do to win, he has to stay true to his word. He has to have pressure all the time. He has to come hitting hard, hitting often, and don't because Crawford's a very slick, skilled boxer. If you give him time to operate, you're gonna go do surgery. He's gonna cut you up like surgery. But if you can't give him time to operate and think and be smooth and slick and switch from southpaw back to right, you can't let him do all of that. You have to make him think. He has to be on the defense so much he's not able to transition to do what he wants to do to you.
Right.
So that's gonna be his keys to win. But Crawford needs to do what fighters like the Lord may have done to him. And then, even though that was a really close fight,
that was a good fight.
He just needs to, what he needs to do, he's either outbox Lundy. That's one of Lundy's flaws. He can be outboxed.
Yeah.
If you turn his hard work into his flaws by counterpunching him, slowing him down, and making it, and keeping him in the middle of the ring. Don't sit on the ropes where he can go in there and operate. Just slick style, box him to death until maybe he stings out, kind of slows down. He starts to slow down, then you take control. Crawford needs to be Crawford, and he needs to not get caught up in, you know what? No? Let's trade. I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend he say, hey, okay, I can take this, let's trade. I wouldn't recommend that. He just needs to do what Crawford does, because Crawford is a very skillful guy, and it's not too many people that's going to outskill him, because he's a puncher boxer. He can crack too.
Yeah.
So
he can.
He needs to box until, like you said, Lundy wears down, and then he can start to give his power, maybe get him out of there. So I'm gonna pick just because Crawford's he's special to me.
He is.
You know what I mean? It's guys that are special. It's guys like Crawford and Earl Spence. A few more. I can go on, but it's certain guys you see them early, you can tell there's something special about them. They're just not your everyday fighters. He's special, so it's gonna take somebody. It's gonna take your A game or it's gonna take a mistake by them to lose. When guys are special, for them to lose, either you had to have a special night, or they just had to have a very bad night. One of the two.
Yeah.
But that's my prediction for that.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said. Before I say my statements, I will tell you guys that Terrence Crawford is my favorite prospect right now. I love the way he fights. But one of the things that Hank Lundy's been saying, and I actually agree with him, I've been impressed with Terrence Crawford's ability to fight out of the southpaw stance, but that being said, it never looks natural. It always looks like he has to think a little bit before he does what he does in the southpaw stance. That being said, he still looks good doing it, but I don't want to see him in the southpaw stance against Hank Lundy's too seasoned for that, in my opinion.
Right.
And,
Lundy's looking forward to it.
He is, and that's why and the thing is, as a young fighter, what I don't want him to do is, he says I can't do it, I'm going to do it. And it's like, please don't do that, because don't take the bait, because Crawford is a very good boxer, but that being said, he gets hit quite a bit. You know what I mean? He didn't have the greatest of defenses to this point. We've seen him get hit quite a bit against Delorme. We've seen him get hit against Gamboa, like you referenced. And thing is, he's a very slow starter. And Hank Lundy has said, he's looking to get him out of there early. And as crazy as it sounds, I think if there is an early knockout in the fight, it will be Lundy knocking out Crawford. If I'm not saying it's gonna happen, guys, don't twist my words here. If it happens, because Crawford is a really, really slow starter. I mean, you're talking about the Delorme fight. He didn't start fighting till like round 5. I was like, I remember on my card, he lost like the first. Yeah, he lost like the first 4 rounds. I was like, Crawford, what the hell are you doing? Like, did you think the fight was tomorrow? Like, what is going on here? But then, but he turned up the heat and got him out of there. But he's a very slow starter, which is to me his biggest flaw. He can't the higher in competition he steps up, he cannot start. So he can't start slow against Hank Lundy. If he gets past Hank Lundy, he can't start slow against Victor Pascal. It just can't happen. These dudes are too good for that.
Right. You give up.
Yeah, you give up the first 3-4 rounds against these guys, and they get that confidence and that momentum. You can't do it. But with that being said, I do think.
Catch back up.
Yeah, I think just like you referenced with Povetkin, we've seen Lundy gas a little bit. Not to say he's not in great shape, because most fights he has, but it seems like when you have to make him work, he does seem to get a little bit gassed. So I think Crawford is going to play it safe, a little safe early. I think he's going to work behind his jab, and then I think mid to late rounds is when we're going to start seeing him really take over the fight. I'm not predicting knockout because I have a lot of respect for Hank Lundy and I have a lot of respect for the heart that he has. But I'm going to go like a 8-4 type of decision for Crawford. I think he'll win. I think he's just a better overall fighter. He's longer, a little stronger, a little faster, a little bit better footwork, and just like you said, Lundy can be outboxed, and I think Crawford's going to use his physical advantages to his advantage and win the fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. A lot of people, this was making me mad, man. Maybe it's because I'm listening to Paulie. I've been listening to Paulie's podcast a lot, and he gets really mad at fans who complain too much, but it actually pisses me off too, and it has been for a while now. What don't people like about this fight? Don't get me wrong. Would I have preferred, a Pascal fight for Crawford, or would I have preferred like a Mauricio Herrera fight for Crawford? Absolutely. But
even Lucas Matisse fight would have been pretty good.
Maybe even a Lucas Matisse fight. But when they already had this date in mind, or they had this date selected for him. They had about a month. Yeah, they had a month and a half to negotiate. When you're negotiating championship fights against like a Victor Pascal, you're not going to get that fight done in that close notice. Let him take this fight. He's going to fight these dudes come later on. And this isn't me talking as his fan. This is me talking from the boxing business standpoint. We all know this.
This is a good hard fight anyway.
And that's the thing. That was the point I was going to make. Is you guys are talking like he's fighting a lightweight, or you guys are talking like he's fighting someone who's not. I mean, Hank Lundy is a damn good fighter. He was to me. I thought it was a draw between him and Mauricio Herrera. Granted, it only went 4 rounds, but I thought they split 2 rounds to 2. He held his own against Herrera. He they both look good in that fight. So I mean, you're talking about someone who looked like he belonged for the first 4 rounds against Herrera, fighting against a young up and coming dude. This is a good fight. This is a proving fight. To me, he's a better fighter. Not necessarily a better fighter than Gamboa, but an actual 140-pounder. He's the same size, if not bigger, than Crawford. And he's a better fighter than Delorme to me.
Blown up 140, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think didn't they fight at 135? Either way, he was blown up. I mean, he shouldn't be over 126 in my opinion.
That fight was at 135. Was it 135?
Yeah, it was 135. Gamboa and Crawford was 135.
What happened to Gamboa? Did he move down?
Yeah, he moved back down to 130. He hasn't had a fight yet. 50 Cent don't know what the fuck he's doing, but that's a different story too. But yeah, I mean, this is a good fight, guys. I mean, come on, let's stop complaining about every little thing. You know what I mean? We've been complaining about so much, whether it's Al Heyman or Bob Arum, and there are things to complain about. Don't get me wrong, but we're complaining about the wrong fights here. This is a good fight. Watch the fight, support the fight. It's gonna be good. We're gonna see what we have out of Terrence Crawford, and then he's gonna take another step-up fight. You know what I mean? Like, boxing fans are so impatient. And, Paulie even referenced it on the last podcast I was listening to. He's like, dude, a lot of people always look back like, back in Muhammad Ali's day, they were fighting every 2 months. They weren't fighting world-class opposition every 2 months, though. They fought they fought 3 or 4 dudes who were just, in the top 10, top 15 before they fought the Frazier of the world. Before they fought, the McCollums of the world. I mean, come on, let's get it together, guys.
And they fought a lot of rematches a lot of times. Like, Frazier 3 times.
He,
I remember looking at it, they fought a lot. They fought each other like a lot of times.
yeah, that was something that was something he referenced too. He was like, look, and these dudes were fighting tomato cans like 8 times. And he's right. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Boxing fans don't know how good we have it in today's day and age, if we're being honest. You know, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of corruption in boxing. There's still things that I don't agree with. But, man, this year is the year, bro. And we said this last episode. We already got one fight. We got Povetkin and Wilder almost made. We got the rematch between Vlad and Fury. We got Canelo Khan, which is so-so fight. But name fight, it's a great fight. But I think
it's gonna be better than people expect.
It is gonna be because Khan has so much skill. Like I said before, though, my biggest problem is that it's for the middleweight strap. That's not right. That to me is what I don't. But the style matchup itself is gonna be very, very good. But yeah, man, boxing fans need to quit. I mean, we just need to quit acting like babies.
Well, we got the biggest complaining fans ever. You know, it makes me mad.
Bro, but this is the thing.
They trashing these guys like they haven't, like they don't put their life on the line every time they step in the ring. Like, come on.
Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. This will be my final thought, and then we'll wrap it up for you guys. You know, Paulie said it too. He's like, look, we don't hear NFL fans complaining like, oh, I can't believe, or like say like you're a Bears fan. We're Bears fans. We're like, oh my God, can you believe the Bears are facing Jacksonville this week? I'm not gonna watch it. Like, come on, bro. Like, well, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's boxing fans. Some boxing fans can be very, very stupid. But yeah, it's, you know, here was another episode, guys. We had some things. I'll let you get a final thought after I wrap up. So, I mean, we covered 2 great heavyweight fights. We got another fight here on the 27th. We made a little prediction, little possible outcomes. You know, support the sport, man. Support us, too. You know, just like us, subscribe to us. I'll put the Facebook link in. Add us on Facebook if you want. You can go under the moderator link in our Facebook page and add us. We'll talk to you then, too. Very accessible. Tell us what you think. Give us some topics. If you want us to talk about something, we'll gladly talk about something. If you think we should do something different, you can give us advice. We're always open to that. I mean, yeah, like I said, man, we're very accessible. We're here to talk to. We're here to take criticism. We're here to take praise. Whatever you want to throw our way, man. You know, share this video with your friends too. You're a boxing fan, so you have to know other boxing fans. Share it on these forums. Share it on these threads. You know, there's plenty of great threads across the internet that you know, spread different things. Help us out, man. So thank you guys for watching. Dennis, any final words?
God bless you. Interact with us.
Most definitely.